In 2019, we had what we have every year, which is our weekend of prayer. So we pray for 72 hours non-stop. And the Lord said to me, Willie, you have a global mission strategy. You're meant to have a local one. And I began to think about what it would mean to do mission locally.
We were approached by Bishop David to consider taking on Dundrum for really the medium to long term. So as a parish, from our free will offering, we're putting £10,000 a year into the church regeneration programme at Dundrum. When the church reopened with Colin, I think there were only 2 or 3 people there. And already we're seeing numbers around 40, 45 people on a Sunday evening, which is absolutely great.
My wife and I really didn't know what we were getting involved with. We knew there was a building here. We knew that it wasn't used. We knew that when it was open, there was maybe 2 faithful people there, and on a good night maybe a few more than that. But God has really been good. We've seen over that period of 8 or 9 months that the numbers at Sunday gatherings have just been growing to the point where we've been at COVID capacity in the building. As well as that, we've been able to establish things and start things beyond the Sunday meeting.
I became involved with Dundrum Community Church when Reverend Willie Nixon asked me would I sit in with him on a monthly prayer meeting with Colin Morris, who's the community pastor there, and I was quite happy to do that. I've also paid a couple of visits down to the church. Obviously with lockdown he wasn't able to have in-person services as often as he would have liked, but also I would be in touch with Colin by telephone, by WhatsApp, trying to encourage him in what he's doing and listening to some of his ideas around his vision for what can be done to share the gospel with the people of the Dundrum area.
Ballyhalbert was something that came to us really in the summer of 2020. Bishop David and I were talking about how we might get involved more in local mission things, and Ballyhalbert came along at a time when they didn't have anyone in the place of rector there, so they needed somebody to look after them in a more permanent way.
I got a phone call from Willie initially on a Friday to say would I be happy to go to Ballyhalbert, and I was delighted to go down and worship in Ballyhalbert and lead the service. Leaving my own parish was difficult. I've been going to Drumbeg for 50 years, so it wasn't an easy decision, but I was happy to go down, and I don't see it as leaving Drumbeg, I see it as extending Drumbeg down in Ballyhalbert. So it's really an extension of the family.
Paul writes at the start of his letter to the Church of Philippi that that he thanks God in all his remembrance for the people there because of their partnership in the gospel from the first day until now, and we've been really thankful for that too here at St Donard's Community Church, that we haven't been alone. We have had people who God has brought to us who are wanting to partner with us. One way that we're seeing that real partnership, that gospel partnership, that family aspect of the kingdom and the gospel is just even Reverend Willie Nixon coming down to help us with a baptism in the church this week, and there we're welcoming somebody into the family of God, and there having Drumbeg people with us as well is just helping everybody to see that it's not church just in this physical place, but we are part of God's family that goes well beyond any geographical boundaries.
We pray publicly for Dundrum Church, both at the services and parish prayers, and from time to time we give updates. We have a WhatsApp group, we include information about Dundrum and about what Colin's doing. So people know about it, and people really have, to use that expression, bought into it. And they're seeing something happening there, and a number of people from Drumbeg Parish have visited on a Sunday evening and have shared in the evening service, which is great because it makes it more of a partnership. It's not like us just kind of fostering this project, it's a two-way thing, and we got a lot back from it. And Colin prays for us and makes requests from us about things that maybe we need prayer for. So it's a two-way relationship. It's not just us putting in, we're getting something back from that, which is encouraging and building up our fellowship here in Drumbeg.
I think most churches are afraid to give people away, and in a sense I am too sometimes. I'm nervous But as we look at the New Testament church, what do we see? We see that those who came to faith suddenly began traveling with that faith to other places, carrying letters or whatever it was they did for Paul. Do you know? And I think there's a missional footprint there for us, that we need to be bold enough to say, we have something here. Let us plant it. Let us share it. Let us take it somewhere else.